Bigby Wolf. I'm glad you're here. So, all that stuff you said you found when we last talked over the phone, what exactly did you find out about each member?
It really wasn't that easy finding the intel that I was able to find. Hell, those girls I still have nothing on, except Elizabeth. But even then, the intel is very, very limited.
Limited intel is better than no intel. So, what did you and Snow find out?
Lupe was the easiest to find intel on. He grew up in a small Louisiana town, quarterback for his football team, captain of his wrestling team. He was also the oldest grandchild of a rich tycoon. When she passed away, it seemed like she didn't want her children to have any of the money. Apparently, a lot of them were into very shady stuff. Lupe being her oldest grandchild, she felt like if she could give him a head start in life, that he could do something with it. Well, with doing that, and him inheriting all her money when she died, that made him a huge target for his own family. One night after taking his then girlfriend home after a school dance, Lupe had stopped by at a local burger place to get himself something to eat. Unbeknownst to him, his own uncle had followed him the entire night. When Lupe returned to his car, he was shot in the back several times with a shotgun from his own uncle. Miraculously, he survived that. They still don't know how, but Lupe survived. However, after several surgeries, the doctors had informed him he would never be able to walk again, thus making him a easy target for his family to take out. His uncle had fled the country, but he had other relatives who were looking to get rid of him in a more secretive way. But it seems like hatred had came across this, and somehow, some way, they did something to Lupe where he regained his ability to not only walk, but make him even stronger than what he was. As for his family, his uncles and his aunts had all gone missing. None of them have been seen in 2 to 3 years.
It seems like they cut a deal with Lupe. He joins them. They take out his family.
Jackson was another easy one. He was both a firefighter and was training to become a professional wrestler. He had married his high school sweetheart and they had their first child. The marriage had been struggling since the very beginning. He was often on the road either because of his training as a wrestler or because the grueling task of being a firefighter. And then his wife and child died in a house fire.
Holy fuck. That's kinda... wow.
That's not even the worst part. It wasn't until years later where he had discovered that his wife had left him a note before the fire. It was underneath a rock right outside the house that did not get burned. When he read it, it was pretty much a suicide note. His wife started the fire, killing both her and the baby to get at him.
What the fuck? Oh my god. So I guess that moniker, The Ugly Truth, is... holy fucking hell. If they weren't such... in a way, I almost feel bad for them. Jesus fuck.
Mars was the most difficult to find anything on. From what we can tell, his accent seems to switch between Scottish, Irish, British, German, and French, so he's most likely European. The place Hatred found him was in an insane asylum. He seems to have a very high tolerance for pain, and it's constantly muttering to himself.
Well, I guess the hardest one's the most easiest to figure out. He's a nutcase, and they're using that nutcase as a weapon.
Like I said, Elizabeth was the only female from whom I could find any intel on. She's from Brooklyn, and she went to school with Carmen. Apparently, her and Carmen were friends during school, but after graduation, their lives had drifted apart. Could just be a case of either she's a bitter friend or she had a crush on Carmen. Either way, it seems like she has some kind of connection to something much more greater, because even the limited intel, I have a feeling that Elizabeth is a key player in all of this. I don't know how, and I don't know why, but she is an important piece.
I have noticed that she seems to have some kind of familiarity to her. Not just because, she's from Brooklyn and everything, and apparently she has some kind of deep connection to Carmen, but there's something else that's familiar about her, but I just can't put my finger on it.
The only other intel I have is why me and Snow are getting involved in this. One of the members of Hatred has access to the magic known as glamour. It's how we in the Fable world are able to don these human disguises to live amongst you all. Someone in Hatred is not of this world. Well, apart from the obvious, but Clockwork wasn't from our world. But someone in Hatred is, but we do not know who it is.
Fucking hell. It seems like the more we answer, the more questions seem to pop up. This is a deep, deep rabbit hole. Well, Big B, do what you need to. And you have access to all UWL arenas to find whatever you can. And if you need help with anything, just let me or anyone else in VW know. We're going to get to the bottom of this, and we're going to find out how to stop Hatred, one way or another.